Councillor Janet Evans, and I will be chairing this meeting. The committee for this hearing comprises Councillor Stephanie Petit and Councillor Abdullah Noor. We are joined by Paul Phelan from the Council's licensing team, and our legal officer, Michael Feeney. Also with us are our committee officers, Tommy Manmer and Daniela Healy. Before we start the hearing of this case, I'm wondering if you all should move closer. There's nobody here. Why don't you all move down to the second row or the first row? Yeah, I think so. It's easier and good. It's a bit more engaging, I think. So, just a few ground rules, please. Keep your microphones on mute until you are invited to speak, as only 2 microphones can be in use at any one time. And please make sure mobile phones are on silent. Thank you. The case before us today is an application for a new premises license in respect of Dynasty, 251 Old Brompton Road. Somebody wrote SW9, but it's actually SW5. Can we correct that, please? Do you know the postcode? So they just switched it. Yeah. Okay, so we can just switch it back, please, officers. Yep. Thank you.
Sorry, it was just in the script. I wrote it wrong.
Oh, it's okay. So I confirm that I have no declaration of interest to make regarding this item. Do the other members have any declarations to make? Councillor Petit?
No declaration.
Councillor Noor?
No, thank you, Chair.
Okay. For clarity, I will outline the procedure of the meeting, which has already been circulated with the papers. First, the licensing officer, Mr. Phelan, will give a brief outline of the application. Please, could you confirm your attendance?
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, all. I'm present.
Thank you. Next, the applicant will present his application. You're here. You're a resident. Where's the applicant? Sorry, 1 minute, please.
Sorry, Chair. We have contacted we've tried to contact the applicant, but we haven't been able to get through to him via mobile, and we haven't had any emails saying that he's not coming. We had an email recently saying that he was planning on attending, so we were expecting him.
I'm going to adjourn the meeting for 15 minutes. We are going to discuss, if he doesn't show up, whether we will go forward. And hopefully he will show up. The weather's terrible, so maybe he got stuck somewhere. But can you, officers, can you keep calling him, please? Okay, so we will go out for 15 minutes, and it is now 10:09, so we'll reconvene at 10:30, shall I say? Or 10:25?
Yes, reconvene at 10:30. If the applicant does show up,
Come get us,
just let
please.
us know and we'll come back.
Okay? It's just, we can't ask our questions and conditions if he's not here. So, there's no point.
Can we please be upstanding for the committee?
So, Mr. Mima, I won't go over everything. I'll tell you what's relevant to you. Only 2 microphones can be on at once because of just because of how the system operates, okay? Please speak into the microphone so we hear you. Yeah,
Yeah,
now
it's
it's
on now.
on.
Yep.
Thank you. And we were just getting to the procedure. We've all made declarations. None of us have any declarations to make. And the procedure is that first, the licensing officer, Mr. Phelan, will give a brief summary. And then you will go as the applicant, and you will present your case. You have up to 10 minutes, okay? Then we will ask you questions. Then the noise and nuisance, represented by Matt McElroy, hi there. He'll present his objections. They will have also 10 minutes each. Then questions may be asked by members of the committee, the legal officer, and objectors of RBKC Noise and Nuisance. Next, the objectors, Michael Davison, hello, and Alina Rahman, okay, on behalf of Catherine Mounier, she's not here, okay, will present their objections. They will have up to a maximum of 10 minutes each to do so. Please, could you all confirm your attendance? Okay. And who are you? Sorry? Oh, okay. So you're speaking. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, you've been added to the list. Excellent. Then questions may be asked by members of the committee, the legal officer, and RBKC Noise and Nuisance of the objectors. After this, we will ask our legal officer, Mr. Feeney, to deal with any questions he may have, and then he will lead on the draft conditions session. The list of potential conditions has been circulated to all of the parties prior to the hearing. Please, could you confirm your attendance?
Morning, Chair. I'm here.
Thank you. Finally, we will turn to the governance team to see if any issues have been raised that we need to consider. There'll be no summing up, and the meeting will end. I would like to remind everyone that the committee has read the papers. They have been circulated to us, so there's no need to repeat their content. Please do draw our attention to certain points and pages. Let's get going. Mr. Phelan, please can you outline the case for us and advise if there has been any additional documentation received?
Chair, members of the subcommittee, good morning all.
Good morning.
The matter before you today is an application by Mr. Tony Mema for the grant of a new premises licence in respect of Dynasty 251 Old Brompton Road, London, SW5 9HP. The application seeks authorisation for the performance of live music, playing of recorded music, performance of dance, the provision of late-night refreshment indoors, and the sale by retail of alcohol for consumption on the premises. The proposed hours are set out in the report, and copies of the current premises licence. The application, proposed conditions, and plans appear at appendices A to C respectively. Chair, one representation has been received from the Environmental Health, Noise and Nuisance team. The representation raises concerns relating to the prevention of public nuisance. In particular, reference is made to another late-night venue in close proximity and to the potential impact of parallel dispersal times. A reduction in hours is suggested within that representation. In addition to the representation from Noise, 17 representations have been received from other parties, including a representation from Councillor Hamish Adorian. These raise matters relating to the prevention of public nuisance, prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, and the protection of children from harm. The concerns set out include noise from music and from people leaving the premises, disturbance to residents living above and behind the premises, congregation outside, issues associated with nearby late-night venues, and the impact of later hours in a residential area. A summary is provided at page 8 of the report, with full copies attached at Appendix E. At the time of writing the report, council records showed 5 noise complaints over the past 24 months, which are set out at Appendix F, and 13 temporary event notices within the past year, listed at Appendix G. Relevant sections of the Secretary of State's guidance and the Council's licensing policy are included at Appendices I and J. Finally, Chair, one additional document was circulated ahead of the hearing. The document contains a confirmation from planning that no objection to the application. The officer continues to confirm that the planning permission was granted for a change of use of basement from ancillary storage to A3 restaurant use, from A3 restaurant use to karaoke bar with 3 karaoke rooms back in 2014. The officer has also noted that Condition 4 states that the use shall not be carried out other than between 10 a.m. and 11 p.m. on any day. Chair, members, you will now hear from the applicant and from those who have made representations. I'm happy to provide any further clarification as required. I'll leave it there for now. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Phelan. Now, Mr. Mima, would you like to present your application?
Hi, Your Honor. Oh, thanks to everybody for coming today and hearing me about my, I would like to, regarding the extending of hours on my premises. I bought this place in September 2024, and since then I've been operating like an Italian restaurant until 11 o'clock, then like a cocktail bar around till 12:30, the time that we close. The whole idea of this process is that is part of the business with what I'm trying to do is something different, and I would like the committee to understand the way I'm doing the things. Because I can see here is a lot of objection regarding another venue, the Troubadour, which is not far from actually where I am, and they close at the same time, and this has been all the regarding the noise and the stuff like that. Where I'm trying to establish is completely different. My clientele is completely different from the Troubadour, which is young, and the noise or whatever they do in the street is completely different from the process what I'm trying to do. I would like to extend my hours, so the people that I have is mostly to do with the parties regarding coming to eat to my premises, and then after to stay on, have a couple of extra hours time. Most of my clientele is over 30 years old. They're not the younger generation who, on the past year, we've had temporary license extended. So we've done it, and we never had a problem. We never had a trouble. We never had any problem with the police or people coming around or any stuff like that. So, I mean, the whole idea is for us to have another couple of hours, so maybe an hour and a half extra till 1:30, so we can serve alcohol till then. We're not looking for lots of people, but we're looking for proper, the sort of clientele that we don't have need to have a problem or disturb the residents or people who leave that time of the night. And the way we're doing it, most of the time when people leave, we just get them into taxis or we get them into the Uber, so we've been helping. We never had a problem with the noise or any complaint or anything like that, to be honest. So I would like the committee to consider my extending the hours to that sort of time, if it's possible.
Thank you. And we'll start to ask you questions, okay?
Thank you.
I think that's fine. Committee, shall we start with Councillor Petit?
Thank you, Mr. Mima. What I'm trying to understand is how you're going to operate between the basement and the ground floor. So where is it going to be your serving areas? How many serving are you going to have? And then, you know, the extension of hours, what are you planning to do? So the licensing was referring to dancing and, you know, karaoke and stuff like that. So how are you going to move things around, chairs and tables? And if you're planning to have the same clients staying, or if you're actually planning to carry on being open after the last serving so people can join the after dinner entertainment. Can you explain that?
Yeah, actually, the way the venue is set up is upstairs. We've got a bar and we've got tables for the restaurant. And we've got another bar downstairs, which is completely separate from upstairs. So when people dine upstairs, then they can move downstairs, have extra cocktails or have extra drinks, which is completely how can I say this? The places are completely separate from each other. There is toilets downstairs and there is toilets upstairs. So that's how we're going to operate with it. So there will be no confusion between the two floors. So if people want to dine upstairs, then they can go downstairs and have a drink. So.
And at what time your kitchen closes? So what time will be the last serving of proper food?
At the moment is 11 o'clock, but we can extend that if we get the license.
The question is, will you extend it? At what time will you keep the kitchen open until?
I can do it till 12.
12 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Another question within that vein is, if you're serving food until 12 o'clock, so from 12 to the requested 2 o'clock in the morning, are you going to welcome new clients in your premises? Or are you going to carry on serving your existing clients?
Well, the way I'm still going to serve the existing clients. The way that I want, there is only 3 days I'm asking for, is only for weekend, for these extra hours. So what I'm trying to do, most of this is going to be set up like maybe birthday parties, or maybe, I don't know, a lot of it can be other parties as well, from residents or stuff like that. So what we do, as long as we serve them, then they can have only drinks and the promises afterwards.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Noor?
Thank you, Chair. Can I just check, you said you started operating in 2024?
Yeah.
Thank you. So my second question is, in terms of extending your hours, is it based on the business demand? Why do you want to extend it?
Yeah, it's based on business demand, yeah. I mean, my hours of operating, I don't open all day. I open from 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So the whole idea is, you know, to give people the refreshment, the late-on refreshment. It's
Thank
not,
you. My second question is, I mean, what are the capacity on both your basement and ground floor, please?
I mean, when I got the promises, it was written that I can have about 100 to 120 people. It depends how you operate. If you operate both of the floors like a restaurant, then it's going to be less, obviously, but it's not that high demand for a restaurant because we've got another restaurant next door. So downstairs mostly is going to be like for drinks, for serving alcohol and soft drinks.
120 or less?
120, yeah.
that okay? I mean, do you deliver at present any delivery service from your premises, or are you planning to deliver in the future?
Actually, I'm planning to do that, but at the moment, no.
So, you said you own a restaurant next door.
No, I don't own a restaurant. I said we've got a restaurant next door,
Oh, I see.
which they serve. I mean, they open all day and they open till 11 o'clock. So my sort of our business idea is to have that a bit later on, so we can have that clientele that want to stay a bit more afterwards. So what we
Okay.
do, we want to combine the food with the late drinks. This is the whole idea.
Okay. Now, you said you would like to have birthday parties. So, birthday parties can get very wild. How will you control their exit into the street?
Okay, the sort of business idea that we've got, we're not dealing with a younger generation, first of all. We're dealing with more mature people. And the whole idea is when these people finish, and then when they leave, then we provide them with a taxi, with Uber, and then we make sure we don't let the whole people out at the same time. We just make sure we get them out. And
When you say we, does that include SIA guards?
yeah, we got
Secu-
security guards,
you
yes.
will have security
Yeah,
guards.
2 security guards, yeah.
Okay. So what days do you have the SIAs?
I mean, we can have them any day, but mostly it's for weekend, yeah.
Right. Because you will need them if you have parties.
Definitely, I've been having them. I mean, on the last year, we've had so many temporary parties, and we never had a problem with that. And another is an objection from someone that says that I can hear noise behind the building. It's not noise, it's just a fire exit. We're not operating outside the building in a back
Right.
at all.
I think that, I understand that. It was going to be one of the questions, because there is another premises that has a garden, but you do not have a drinking or an eating garden.
We're not using the garden at all. Garden
Okay.
is just there,
That's
the
very
purpose of fire
important.
exit, yeah.
Right.
We don't use that, so wherever is residents in the back, they've got no issue or need to worry that they're going to have a noise in the back at all.
Great. So you have 2 SIAs, and you're the manager or owner?
I'm the owner, yeah.
The owner. And how many staff upstairs and how many downstairs?
We usually go between 4 and 6 staff. It depends on how big the party is going to be, or it depends on the night, obviously, yeah. We usually have, if we operate both of the bars, then we're going to have probably about between 4 and 6, yes.
So you would have 2 bartenders,
2 waitresses.
right?
We have 2 security guard and the manager, and probably we may get another extra waitress as well.
It sounds like you'll need it if you're busy.
I mean, yeah, depend on the capacity that we're going to have, obviously. I mean, at the moment, we're not doing more than 50 to 70 people. We never exceeded that. But if we're going to have up to 120, which I doubt it, well, hopefully, but then yeah, we can have even 3 securities. We usually have 1 in the door and 1 up downstairs, and then probably we can have someone in the stairs as well. That's not an issue, the staff or how to manage the place. Because when we done the place, or when I got the place, it was already set up to be on that, we don't have people walking up and down because we got 2 bars, which they work separately from each other, so.
So downstairs, the people upstairs will have supper,
Yeah,
and then they'll go downstairs if they want to.
yep,
There'll be dancing.
yeah, they'll be dancing, yeah.
You're having a DJ, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I can have DJ or live music.
So that'll only be in the basement, the
Yes.
music? Okay, interesting point. And then the people downstairs, there won't be any food, or can they have?
They can have food downstairs as well. I mean,
Yeah,
most of the food is like if it's a party or something, it's a set menu, then you can offer them downstairs and stuff. But most of the time is upstairs usually.
okay. And the food is basically pasta
Yeah, it's that most of it is Italian food.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to change it to tapas because it's a very big demand, but that's
To
a
what,
few-
sorry?
Tapas.
Tapas.
So, yeah, like a Spanish. Is the whole idea is like to move away from that sort of typical restaurant, just to do something like a bit more, like a it's like a cocktail bar, not a club. I'm not because a lot of people they think that I'm going to have a club and it's going to be noise and all that stuff. Not really. I'm not looking to make a club. What I'm trying to say to do is like people enjoy, have a food, and then they can stay a bit later on and have a drink. This is the whole idea of it.
Okay.
And
So-
sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
I've been doing this for the past, if you see how many times we've done it, most of the times I've done it for weekend when we had, use the venue for parties and stuff like that. And it has worked so far. And this was this idea, so I can extend it because people want to stay a bit more.
How many years have you been in hospitality?
Well, I had a gap about 10 years before I bought this place, but then I had 15 years before.
And are you going to be on the premises?
Most of the time I am there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I've got a manager as well who's managing, yeah. I've got a young guy, which is very, very experienced on that.
Okay. Now, any more questions from the committee?
Mr. Mina, have you engaged with any resident association over the last 2 years? Have you met any residents?
Yes, I do. Yes, I have, yeah. We've got a lot of clients which they come all the time on the premises, yes.
And have you held any formal meeting with residents to explain your application?
Yes, I did with a few of them, and it seems that everybody's happy to do that.
Thank you.
Councillor Noor?
I mean, when people are leaving your premises, whether it's 12:30 or 1:30, how will you deal with if a group of people are going to leave your premises, and we know the road next to you is quite narrow? How will you ensure there will be no noise when they are leaving to your resident next to you?
First of all, let me make it clear. Most of our clientele is not they're going to wait all the way to the end of, because it's not like they're going to wait till the end of the night and go out in the same time. And that's what I've seen over the past year. Most of the people, they enjoy their drink, doesn't matter they go party. And because it's not a young generation where they're looking to stay till late or till the end. So it's very simple. Next to us is a bus stop. So if anyone want to take the bus, they just wait down there. Otherwise, we just keep people. You see, a good thing about this venue that we've got, because we are on 2 floors, so the people who stay late, they're usually going to stay downstairs. So the floor upstairs will be empty. So what we do, when some of the people come upstairs and they ask for taxi or for Uber, we provide that to them. We don't let them in the street to wait. We just let them to wait inside. We've got on the front of, we've got canopy, and the front of, they can wait even in the front of the place and wait for taxi. Or for most of these, our clientele, they wait for taxi, or they wait for a chauffeur, or they wait for Uber. They don't walk in the street to find, to go to train station or to do anything like that. So we look, in the past year, as I said, I don't know, we've done like 12, 13 of these. We never had an issue. We never had a problem.
Thank you.
Mr. Phelan, do you have any questions? I mean, Mr. Feeney, sorry.
It's for, Mr. McElroy, do you have any questions for the applicant?
He has to present first. He didn't, I think, no? Yeah. Okay.
I think
Yeah, sorry.
I think usually the parties ask and I do some conditions.
Oh, we don't do it like that. Okay. So, Mr. Mima, you say that you have a lot of residents who are your customers.
Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say is the general atmosphere at the restaurant?
Well, general atmosphere has been very positive, actually, and this is one of the reasons that I'm trying to extend the license, because, you see, we've got the drink until 12, and then they can leave to have 12, and most of the people are, oh, why we can't stay a bit more? I mean, a lot of people don't know that, you know, it's a sort of license that doesn't allow me to give them, to serve them drinks till late. And
Okay.
is a lot of people who, is that sort of clientele that, you know, these people that, I mean, I don't know how to say this, is what they try to do is, yeah, they have a good meal, they're having a good time, so they want to stay a bit more. And this is all I mean, if you see from during the week, I've just asked for an extra hour. I haven't asked for much, because I know these sort of people that don't want to stay, our clientele don't want to stay till morning. I'm not asking for 4 o'clock in the morning, because I know they won't stay. So what I'm asking is just that hour difference. It make a difference to my business, and it make a difference to the community, to the people who come there, to my clientele. So they have a good
Yes.
meal, and they don't want to go nowhere else because they want to stay there, just have an extra drink or have another bottle of wine.
Now, tell me, I walked over there a couple of times. I see that your building inside. There's a step outside. What are you planning to do with that? Are you applying for tables and chairs? Are you planning to use that step? Because it's quite a drop. And I know Pappardella next door has the same.
The same, yeah. No, it's just for people to go out and have a smoke, really. That's all it is. That's why
I
we've
see.
got a canopy. We're not serving drinks outside. Even after 11, we not let no one with the drinks. I mean, you can have a drink, I think, till 11. That's part of the license before. But after that, we're not letting people in. And especially after 12, no one is allowed to get out with a drink. So if someone wants to go out and smoke, then they have to leave the drinks inside. I mean, that's why we got the security as well.
Okay. Thank you. That's helpful. Anyone else have questions here? No. Okay. Do the objectors have any questions, or are you going to wait till you present your case? You'll wait? Okay. Now, we will go, next we'll move on to noise and nuisance. Matt McElroy, please, can you present your submissions?
Thank you, Chair. I won't go through everything. It's quite a straightforward representation. Ultimately, with the proximity to the Troubadour, the dispersal that the applicant is, based on the hours the applicant is applying for, basically puts the dispersal at the same time of the Troubadour. The applicant has said that a lot of the customers use Ubers. That is something that is a notable issue in the area, especially when the Troubadour does disperse. Taxis turning up, car horns, blocking Coleherne Road, blocking Old Brompton Road. There are public safety issues as a result of people running across the road, and therefore with two premises dispersing at the same time, especially if you were at capacity of 120 people dispersing at 2 o'clock in the morning, then there would be a serious risk of an increase of public nuisance in the area and also public safety as well. So that's the fundamental basis of the objection, is to try and bring the hours back, just to try and stagger the dispersal so that Troubadour and Dynasty can disperse at different times. One thing we note at the moment is that there's not really been an issue based on the temporary event notices that Dynasty have had, because they've actually operated later than the Troubadour. So they've actually operated till 3 o'clock in the morning. And I think on a couple of occasions till 4 o'clock in the morning, which has staggered the dispersal. It's just staggered it later, as opposed to what we're asking for based on the hours, just to stagger it to before the Troubadour. But that's the fundamental basis of the objection. We do receive complaints as a result of the Troubadour, and I do fear that we will get an increase in complaints and a real difficulty in trying to identify where customers have come from if we are looking at mixing two premises at the same time of that dispersal. But that's the fundamental basis of the representation.
Thank you. Before we go to questions, can governance please put up, because it'll be relevant to the objectors, can you put up the street map, please, showing Troubadour and showing Dynasty and the streets and where the objectors live? It was in the pack. Yeah, Appendix K. Okay, can we zoom in on, yeah, well, zooming made it smaller. Okay, okay, that's good. And can you show us where Troubadour is? Do you have a pointer on there? It's 265 Old Brompton Road.
It's just opposite where that single red dot is on the block for
So it's
Redcliffe Close.
opposite
It's
the
just
red
opposite,
dot.
opposite
Yeah, right.
there.
Over
yeah.
there. Yes. And then show us where Dynasty is in relation to that.
It's kind of in the middle of the cluster of red dots, but just fronting onto
It's
one
just
Old
by that
Brompton
red
Road.
dot there, yeah.
Yeah.
Down there. So, yeah, they're 251 Old Brompton Road.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a side street between them and
Yeah.
a few shops. Okay. Good. I have no questions of Mr. McElroy. Do you? No. Okay. Thank you, Mr. McElroy. Does our legal advisor have any questions of Mr. McElroy? And the objectors? Do you want to go into your objections or no questions? Okay. So, sorry. Oh, yes. Mr. Mima, do you have any questions?
I mean, no, I don't have any question. I just want the answer to the gentleman there. I mean, I don't know really what's going on with the Troubadour. Or
Speak
how
into your mic,
Oh,
please.
sorry. I don't really know what's going on with the Troubadour or how it's managed on, or I don't know what the problems, he's been with there before. But as I said to you guys, the way I want to work and the way I'm working with different sort of clientele. I'm not working, I can see Troubadour and is to be honest, is a lot of people staying outside, is a lot of young generation, which probably they're between 18 and 21. And I don't, after some time, because as you said, we had it late till 3 o'clock, and I don't let them in on my premises, because I can see they're a bit too much to drink, or wherever, the sort of style, or the sort of music is irrelevant to us, as I said. And if we go, and the way you think that we're going to have 120 people, I really doubt it that we're going to have, because our sort of clientele doesn't like that sort of music or sort of, the parties
Could
they're
you
going to do.
ask a question, please? You're supposed to be questioning.
I'm supposed to be questioning. No,
Just
I thought
turn it into a
I'm gonna
question.
I'm answering to his. I mean, why should I, as a venue, because of Troubadour, we have to suffer because of what's going on with the Troubadour? I think it should be more something to do with my place than the way the Troubadour is managed. If it's managed that bad, then the license should be reversed from them.
Okay. Mr. McElroy, can you answer that, please?
I think one of the issues that we have, though, is that while I take on board that your clientele may be different, we do have a lot of licensed premises in the borough with an older clientele that do also create issues and noise issues. So I think we need to look at demonstrating that it can operate without causing a negative impact prior to looking at dispersals of two venues. And I understand your point about you're not likely to get 120 people, but if it's there and it's possible, there is the potential that at some point you may get 120 people. So therefore we need to take it on the basis of the application and what's presented.
Okay, so I have to go ask for extra hours then. Get the people out around 3 or half 3, I don't know. Would that help?
I mean, I think we need to look at the staggered dispersal. Obviously, we can only go on the basis of what you've applied for at this
I
moment in
understand.
time.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay. Now, objectors, did you have any questions before you start your presentation? No? Okay. Now, Who is going to speak first? Mr. Davison? I would like you to show us on the Appendix K. Bring it back, please. Can you show us where you live, please?
So I live at number 245, which is about 3 doors to the right of Dynasty.
Okay. And which floor, up on top of it?
So right there, and we are on the first floor.
Okay, and you're on top of which premises?
We are on top of a fruit store called Aqua, I believe.
I see. Okay. You have 10 minutes, please.
Okay, so full disclosure, I actually visited Dynasty once with a friend while he was visiting.
There's too many mics on. So
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I actually visited Dynasty once to meet Mr. Nima. I thought he was a very pleasant man and it was a nice premises. However, this street is already extremely loud. I would say that it's not hyperbole to say that it is diminishing the quality of my life. I like to go to bed early, I like to get up early for the gym. It is already a very busy street. There are several hospitals in the area, so there are a lot of ambulances going by with their sirens on every few minutes. It makes it very difficult to sleep. People coming out of bars, even out of restaurants, they do linger. There's also a bus stop directly underneath our bedroom window, and drunk people like to go, they sit at the bus stop, they talk until the middle of the evening. It's an extremely loud street, and given that we're the first floor, it really does feel like these people are in our bedroom when they're outside. It's extremely loud. So my concern is just that the added noise is really just going to disrupt sleep even more. I definitely feel like my health has diminished since living there just due to lack of sleep. And for someone like me, perhaps, who likes to get up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., being woken up by loud people outside at 3, you know, multiple times a night, completely destroys my sleep. So for that reason, I am extremely against it because, like I say, my sleep and health have already been compromised by the general volume of the street. Thank you.
next, Ms. Rahman, can you show us, you're representing Catherine Mounier. Can you tell us where she lives?
Flat 4, 245.
Also in 245.
Yes, so
Okay.
flat 4, so further up, obviously, but still only a few doors down from Dynasty.
Okay. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you. So, I mean, without wanting to go ahead and repeat all the information provided within the licensing application, all the representations, it's obvious that a few main issues seem to keep cropping up, which are the noise complaints, the disturbance to sleep, which he's just mentioned as well, and then you also have the children in the area, which it's deeply affected. And I think already my client's seen that effect. She had a tenant living at the flat. She wasn't living there personally, but this tenant decided to move out because of the, not only obviously the Troubadour, that we know that there's been issues, but now because of Dynasty, there's the fear that there's going to be more loud noise. She was concerned and was still living at the flat when the application was made and has now made a decision to leave. And I think, you know, this is just one tenant with 2 young children. What's going to happen further down the line if things, you know, do end up more noisy and causing problems. There's also the fear of antisocial behavior. I mean, of course, that's amongst adults, that's worrying, but with kids, and a lot of kids in the area, you have Bousfield just down the road. And not just that, you have also, further down Brompton Road, there are also 2 other schools, I believe it is. So the area is definitely a residential family area. To then go ahead and have Dynasty with obviously its late night drinking as a venue or Italian restaurant as it claims to be. I mean, this is another point my client has made to me. She's walked past Dynasty many times. She rarely sees anybody eating there. It's usually, you know, drinks late at night. And she said that she's felt uncomfortable on a number of occasions when walking by with the crowd that is there. Her tenant has also mentioned the same thing. I'm also a resident of the borough, and I've walked by a few times and felt uncomfortable myself. It's it just seems that the crowd that's being invited there, I mean, I can't speak and say, I've never been inside myself, but, you know, it is making residents feel uncomfortable. In terms of representation, 17 is a big number, I think, and that's only the people that are able to actually, you know, say something. Children, elderly, they probably may not be as able. And of course, I'm sure more people would be here to speak today had it not been a Wednesday at 10 a.m. when most people have work. So I think there's also the consideration of the cumulative impact that it's going to have. What precedent is this going to set for the future? Is Earls Court and the area to be considered a residential safe place, or is it more a place for bars and clubs? And definitely crime rates have gone up. As I mentioned, I live in the area and have seen the difference in the last just 5 years, let's say. Separately, upon doing some further research, looking into Companies House and directors' appointments, I can see that the applicant has been a director of multiple companies before, which mostly have now been dissolved or he's resigned from. But I was looking into specifically where the registered office, which is at Dynasty for Geva Limited, I believe probably has the lease for this, for Dynasty.
Sorry, I don't hear you.
So Geva Limited, I believe it has the lease for Dynasty. Its registered office address is at 251 Old Brompton Road, and the director is the applicant.
Right, so what's your point here?
So when going into the business codes of the company itself, it says unlicensed restaurants and cafes, and then the second business code is licensed clubs. And I think that speaks also to the sort of pattern that the restaurant is portraying. I mean, 13 temporary license notices, going till late night, having this late night music and dance, etc. It's all sort of contributes towards the feeling that it's much more of a club, which multiple people have said as well, rather than just an Italian restaurant. And in terms of business purposes, I mean, the applicant correctly said it may be a better idea to turn it to a tapas restaurant. As you know, La Pappardella is next door, an Italian restaurant running for many years. It's almost an establishment now in Earls Court. And opening up another Italian restaurant right next to it, you know, may not seem like such a great business idea. Maybe, yes, tapas. But if you're looking to perhaps be more commercially viable by making it a late night venue for drinking, etc., it may be at the cost of the residents of Earls Court and Old Brompton Road. So I therefore respectfully request on behalf of my client as well that you consider rejecting the application or reducing the hours at least to something that is more bearable for the people around the area and for the amenity. Thank you.
Thank you. Simon Roberts, will you be speaking?
Hey, we're on. Yes, I'm the single red dot in the building.
Sorry, where are you?
That single red dot on the where the cursor is at the moment.
To the left. Is the cursor there?
Yeah.
Oh, you're over there.
Yeah.
Okay, you're actually opposite the Troubadour.
Yes.
Okay.
I suffer greatly from the noise of the Troubadour. Mm-hmm. And have been for many years, and to have a further licensed restaurant or bar or club open till 2 o'clock in the morning is going to disturb, as already been spoken about, the residents of the area. We are not in a commercial area. This is a residential area as highlighted in that map. So what we don't need is more noise and disturbance. I will echo the report from the gentleman next door to me. My sleep has been disturbed for over 5 years now due to the Troubadour. That means being woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning when they turn out for a cigarette break, and at 2 o'clock in the morning when they finish. And the emphasis on Ubers, I can tell you that none of these people get into taxis or Ubers at that time of the morning. They disperse themselves and they hang around in Coleherne Court. Not only am I representing myself, but I'm also representing the residents of Redcliffe Close, as I am a director of the management company of the block. And I'm also speaking on behalf of the residents who live in the east end of the wing, which will be more severely affected by the people leaving Dynasty late in the evening or having them hanging outside having a cigarette or a vape. So I am objecting to the extension of the license to no more than 11:30, 12 o'clock, as with the rest of the licensing in the area, with the exception of the Troubadour.
Thank you very much. Okay, any questions from the committee? Councillor Petit?
I have a question for Ms. Rahman. Could you please be slightly more specific about the fact that you and your client felt uncomfortable when walking next to the premises on few occasions? And how does that reconcile with the depiction we just had from Mr. Mina about the fact that his customers are waiting inside for their cabs or their Uber? Thank you.
So my clients told me that she's received, what made her uncomfortable is the looks that she's received from either the patrons or people, employees working there. I can't say for sure which of those it is. On occasion as well, when I have passed by, I've received uncomfortable looks. Again, I'm not aware if they're employees or patrons of the place, but the tenant has mentioned it as well, and it's just, you know, as a woman walking down feeling uncomfortable, it does affect the character, the amenity, the ability to walk safely at night within the area, or at least the feeling you get.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask, I'm skipping Councillor Noor, because I'd like to know what time of the day you've been walking past there.
I have walked by every Sunday.
During the day?
During the day to
Yeah.
visit my grandmother. She lives on Coleherne Road as well. So I always have to walk by there. And then separately, on multiple occasions, I've walked, I'd say around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And on occasion, not specifically, but just on occasion, I've walked by maybe midnight, past midnight, walking back from Chelsea.
Okay, so we are discussing here a late-night license, and neither you nor your client have been around at that time. So I'm just asking, how do you see the relevance here to what he's proposing?
Well, if those are the types of patrons that do attend, and let's assume that they are the same patrons after a certain time, after the hours that we have visited, then it's assumed that perhaps the same sort of looks would be received by other people as well.
Okay, between the three of you, can any of you present? I hear everything you say, and you make very valid points, and your speculation is quite credible. Can you give us a specific example where that dynasty has caused problems or made any breaches regarding the late night, or this is just your fears?
For me, generally, when I look out the bedroom window, it's just that there are people in the street. You know, there are people drinking, there are people being loud. I can't specifically identify where they're coming from. I can't actually see Dynasty's front door from my bedroom. It's just that there are loud, drunk people dispersing into the street at all hours of the night. And I'd like to reiterate, this is really, really into the middle of the night sometimes. Sometimes I get up and it's 4 o'clock and there's people sitting at the bus stop underneath our window drinking. You know, it goes on all night. Sometimes I'm waking up multiple times an hour because of the noise. But sorry, just to reiterate, no, nothing specific about Dynasty, just the general noise. And I would also add that I think since we've been in the street for around 5 months, I would say the street does feel less safe now than it did when we initially moved in.
Councillor Noor?
Thank you, Chair. Did any of the residents who are here today approach the business owner to find a solution for what you are the scene in terms of noise or anything.
Hello. I'd like to just counter his suggestion that he's held or tried to hold meetings with residents. That, as far as I'm aware, has never happened. I have never received any invitation to meet the management or the owners of the Dynasty Club at any time. And again, I would just like to echo the fact that we have sufficient noise coming from the Troubadour with people. It doesn't make any difference whether they're 30 or 13. People who are drunk and who leave premises late at night will make noise. And in the summer, when we have our windows open, it's just going to continue to make it. And as the noise and nuisance officer has kindly pointed out, it is going to be even more noisy if we have two outlets in a residential area, not an area which is not full of offices. How can we be assured that the dispersal program, as outlined in number 9, is going to be continued? Because the Troubadour has the same number of people, and they still create noise.
I would suggest we're going to get into a conditions session, and you make a valid point. So when we discuss the conditions, if you can contribute, that would be very helpful. Okay? Thank you. Councillor Petit?
I have one question for Officer McElroy. On the series of complaints you have had, could you be more specific on the type of nuisances that residents reported? Was it the music? Was it antisocial behavior? Was it ventilation? Was it cabs and traffics? Do you have the detail?
I do. It is in the pack, I believe. Is this, sorry, this is in relation to Dynasty, not Troubadour, is that correct?
Right, yeah, this is the case for Dynasty, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, correct, Dynasty. I'm interested in the complaints that you got for Dynasty and the type of complaints when it's all bundled under noise and nuisance, if we could have this sort of breakout of, is it noise from the music? Is it noise from the actual people leaving? Is it noise from the cabs and queues of taxis and that sort of things?
So Appendix F in the pack lists the complaints that we've had in relation to Dynasty going back to 2023. So we've got a building noise complaint, obviously not related to the operation of the premises. We received a report on the 4th of October 2024. It was at 9 a.m, but it appears that it was reporting loud amplified music from the premises, causing vibration in the flats. Weren't able to reach the complainant to discuss it, but it's possible that that would have been relating to a previous night. 15th of December 2024, loud music from a party at the premises continuing until the early morning. We called the complainant, they declined a visit. We received a further complaint that night. Officers visited at 2:30, the premises was closed. 5th of April 25, resident reported the bar was playing music past midnight in breach of licence conditions. They actually did temporary event notice in place at that time, and the complaint related more to the premises being open, not specifically to noise nuisance. On the 23rd of August 2025, 10:59, loud music reported from the premises. Officers visited, and it says noise stopped. Complainant advised they saw a neighbour shouting at the restaurant. Complainant was informed that officers would need to visit the property to assess the disturbance, but a visit was not carried out. So I mean, there's not significant complaints about, specifically about the operation of the premises. There's just some sporadic complaints, some of which relate to music, but some of which just relate to concerns about the premises operating beyond their permitted hours.
Thank you. So I have a question for Mr. Mina. Following those complaints, which are mostly about the noise from the music and the vibration, Did you make any changes on the way you operate the music to actually ensure that those complaints would not happen again?
I would like to make a point to everybody, like when this place is built, is totally insulated and is soundproofed. And that is a certificate for that, and you guys should have it on a license there as well. So I think most of these complaints that is been most from the other clubs around, or the people who, to be honest with you, we don't play loud music upstairs. We don't have a DJ upstairs. If it's a loud music, it's going to be downstairs, which is all insulated, so you can't hear nothing even upstairs, no flats above. So it's other concurrence people, or I don't know who's made the complaint, but we never had a proper complaint or someone to come to us and say, that you got loud music, or you got this, or you got that. Not really. It hasn't been a complaint. No one has come to us to make a point or to complain about it. We had officers one night, yes, we did. They did come, they checked this, everything was fine. But that's all it's been.
Thank you.
Before we start our condition session, does our legal officer have any questions for the objectors? No. Okay. Any questions from noise and nuisance of the objectors?
Not of the objectors, but I wondered if I could just ask one final question to the applicant, if possible.
Please.
In regards to the operation of the premises, and if you were to be granted this license, in terms of the way that the premises downstairs would operate, if you've got DJs and things like that, so would people be up and dancing and able to go to the bar to buy drinks and that kind of thing? Because obviously, we'll come on to it in the condition session anyway, but you do have a condition that you volunteered about alcohol to people seated at tables. So I just want to confirm that the intention is that people will be sat down and it won't be operated as a club with people up dancing and moving around. It'll be very much a seated operation.
The way the place is set up downstairs, let me explain to you, because it should be on the papers on a form. We've got a corner sofa, and then there are tables where people are going to put the drinks. And then there is the bar. On the front of the bar, we've got high chairs, but then there will be people dancing, I want to be honest with you. But most of the drinks, they will be on the tables, so they're not going to be drinks on the hands. I don't know, you guys, you're welcome to come and have a look anytime. And this is...
But in terms of the actual operation as proposed, the alcohol would be served by waiter or waitress service to the people at those tables, is that correct?
Would be in a bar and on the tables, both.
Sorry, does that mean at the bar? Or-
Yes. No,
Okay.
people can buy drinks on the bar by themselves and sit on the high chairs, and the waiters will be serving the drinks at the tables as well.
I see. So everyone would be seated?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I think we're going to the conditions now, and I would welcome... Sorry, one second. Do you have any further questions of the objectors?
I just wanted what the answer to the young lady down there about the objection that she's got, a couple of points that she made. First of all, we're not open on Sunday, so I don't know how did she get it to be afraid to walk in the street on Sunday about Dynasty, because we're not open on Sundays. We don't operate on Sundays, we're closed.
Okay.
And regarding the license, I don't really know what happened before I bought the place, which was on September 2024, 2023. There was a 12 years lease on the place, and the lease that we've got and the license is on a company called Jiva Limited, which is based on that place. So that's how we got it, and that's why we operate under that. So that was part of something earlier, and the license we've got now was done by previous owners, was nothing to do with me. So in a sense, there was Italian restaurant and stuff like that. We operate under that license that was given before. I'm trying to make the things, as I said, probably would be a good idea to change it to a tapa Spanish restaurant because we've got next door Italian restaurant. But this is what it was when I got the place. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Now, I would like to ask our legal officer to deal with the draft conditions. I would like everyone to put in their concerns, how we can mitigate. Thank you.
So just to check, does everyone have the draft conditions document that was circulated with the yellow conditions? So these are the conditions that were proposed by the applicant as part of the application. If I could just ask, and I should make clear at the beginning, that the fact that we're discussing conditions doesn't mean that the committee has made its mind up either way. It's just conditions that could be imposed if the application were to be granted. Just first to the applicant, condition 9, which is the dispersal and external management plan. At the moment, the condition at the end says that the plan was received in August 2021. Would you agree that that should be deleted so that a fresh dispersal management plan would have to be provided if the license were granted?
Yes, please.
Also, to the applicant, the current premises license, do you have the agenda pack, the papers for the hearing in front of you?
Yep.
If you go to page 17 of the pack,
Okay.
these are the conditions on the current license. Condition 10 on the current license is a requirement to wear body-worn video on Fridays and Saturdays for door supervisors. I don't think that's been included in the application. Would there be any objection to that being included?
Not at all.
And would you agree that should be Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays if the extended hours are granted?
Yep, perfect. It should be implemented, yep.
And then finally, on the current license, on page 19, conditions 21, 22, and 23 deal with sort of special measures when Chelsea are playing a football game. Is there any objection to, and I don't think those have been included as part of the application, is there any objection to including those?
It doesn't apply to us at all because we're not showing any football.
It's more for when there's a game at Stamford Bridge. Oh, sorry, Mr. Nickelroy.
It's all right. I believe there was some discussions with licensing, and that's part of the reason they were bringing an application forward as well, is to remove some conditions that were considered not really appropriate for the operation. So I think that's why they had been omitted from the pre-application pack that had been provided to the applicant as well following a pre-app meeting.
I see. Do you know if that applied to condition 10 as well, the previous condition about body-worn video?
I don't believe it related to that. It was more about the
Chelsea
operation during the Chelsea football matches, yeah.
Okay. Well, the only differences I could see were condition 10 and those 3 about the Chelsea game. So you're saying that licensing thought that those weren't needed, essentially?
Yeah, because the operation of the premises isn't operated like a pub.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful to know.
So just to be clear, we are not including that, correct?
I think it would be for the committee to decide if it was necessary to include those, but
Okay.
if licensing thought that they weren't needed given the operation of the premises, do the objectors have any particular concerns or comments on those conditions about football matches?
Yes, hi. The football matches are ending any time after 10 to 10:30. So therefore, people who are leaving could want to go for a drink after the game, and therefore it should be banned that people who are coming after a football match should not be allowed to drink any further in the area. They should be just dispersing so that the residents can have a peaceful night.
Okay, thank you. I think the committee can go away and decide, make a decision on those conditions. Another question for the applicant is, you mentioned that the live music and the dancing would be just in the basement. Is that correct?
Yes.
So would you be willing to accept a condition saying that that live music and dancing would only be in the basement and not in the ground floor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other parties have any thoughts on that proposal?
Right, hi. The Troubadour has a similar situation where they have an upstairs where they don't have music, but the music emanates from the basement. And that comes out when they open the door to let people come out for a smoke break or just to leave the premises for a breath of fresh air. And that can be heard very clearly from where I live, across the road from the Troubadour.
Troubadour has live bands, don't they?
No, they have live bands to 11 o'clock, as they should do, under the terms of live music licenses within London. But after that, they go to discos, and they just have disco music all the time.
Thank you.
And just a general question first to environmental health, just to confirm, you've asked for the earlier hours, but there aren't any other conditions that you feel would, the conditions do seem on the current license pretty comprehensive. There's nothing else that you would consider?
No, the applicant did go through a pre-app and the conditions that were recommended have been put forward. It's only the hours that I've got the representation in for.
And just for the objectors, obviously you've asked for the application to be rejected or for earlier hours. Apart from the hours, are there any conditions that you think might be able to mitigate your concerns?
I would just say that the most perfectly executed licensed premises on earth with the best intentions can't neutralise the variable of drunk people. If they elect to disperse and linger, no one can stop them. That is their right. So that for me is the real issue here, is that you can't plan for that, you can't implement for that. These people will come out, they will argue, they will sing, they will talk really loud because they're drunk and they don't realise what volume they're at. I just don't think you can negate that, and that's for me the biggest constraint, and I don't think there's an answer to it.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful to...
Yeah, my viewpoint is that 11 o'clock, like most of the other licensed outlets in and around the area, they should have the same conditions as that. They should not be an exception. Okay, we have the Troubadour, which has an exception, and they cause no end of trouble. Therefore, it's a residential area. We should not have our peace disturbed by by customers leaving licensed premises and making loud noise at any time after 12 o'clock. If Wembley has to close at 10:30, therefore we should not be subject to the same or have better conditions than major music or events that are held within the capital.
Perhaps just a couple final questions for the applicants. On the draft conditions, do you have the condition 6 is about the provision of SIA. And currently, it's suggested that SIA would be required on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and any day when the licensable hours are beyond 12:30, that they're to SIA from 10 p.m. until 30 minutes after the premises have closed to the public. You might think it's not necessary, you might think it's not proportionate, but just to ask, do you think it would be possible to have SIA every day of the week, or?
Yes, it would be possible, yeah.
So there could be SIA every day of the week from 10 p.m. until 30 minutes after closing?
Yes.
And just finally, obviously the committee hasn't made a decision. If the license is granted, ultimately, then of course you have to abide by the license conditions. And so I think it's just important to understand, based on what Mr. McElroy was asking, if you look at condition 11, it says alcohol shall be served by waiter and waitress service only, except a maximum of 10 people at the bar on the ground floor while they're waiting to be seated. So would you be able to operate as you intend in the basement with that condition, which would require alcohol only by waiter and waitress service in the basement?
Yes, I would, yeah.
Okay, so you don't think that needs to be amended?
Not really.
Okay. I'm just going to have a quick look through just to see. Also, the first condition is about organizing meetings with residents twice a year. So just to make sure that you're aware that the license, if granted, you'd be required to meet with residents at least twice a year to discuss the operation of the premises, and you're happy with that?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Do you understand how it would work, engaging with the residents? That you would contact the head of the Residents Association?
Yeah, I understand that. I would do that, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Look, I don't want to cause any trouble to the residents at all.
Okay.
And for me, to engage with them would be a priority. Why not? See where we, all the objections and all the problems they've got. I know the gentleman over here quite well, I know him, and I understand the people, where they're coming from and why they do that. It's the way it is.
Okay, thank you.
And, sorry, just one final thought. I asked earlier about live music and dancing only being in the basement rather than the ground floor. Mr. McElroy, it might be helpful just to confirm if recorded music were only allowed in the basement, that would not prevent the playing of sort of background music on the ground floor as part of the restaurant. Is that correct?
That's correct. Music conditions would come into effect from 11 o'clock, so things like the system limiter condition would apply, but they could still play music on the ground floor.
So if recorded music were allowed only in the basement, they'd be allowed to play sorts of background music suitable for a restaurant, but not, for example, a DJ or something like that?
I think the stipulation from 11 would be that it would need to be regulated entertainment at that point. In which case, I don't think there would be a distinction between it being just for background music. So basically at 11 o'clock everything would need to be run through the limiter, in which case it would just need to be set at a level that wouldn't cause a nuisance.
I suppose what I'm guessing at is if recorded music were removed from the ground floor, would that cause, well, perhaps the committee just needs to go away and decide whether that's needed. Okay.
Mr. McElroy, can you be more specific on, or Mr. Phelan, if you can engage here, about the music? How you feel it should be worded so everybody is clear where they stand.
Thank you, Chair. So I think what would need to be considered in that, if you are removing recording music from the ground floor, the premises may still benefit from the deregulation on the ground floor. So providing certain caveats are met, then they would be able to provide recorded music on the deregulated aspect, and which is obviously prior to 11 o'clock.
Does everyone understand that? Yeah? Yes?
If music was played on the ground floor, we would probably just request that the bass on the speaker was turned down, as the shop and the gym underneath us often play loud music, but it's the bass that affects the flat, so the lights vibrate, the windows vibrate. But when we went downstairs to the fruit shop and asked them to adjust the speaker, we actually couldn't hear anything anymore. We couldn't hear the music, and because the vibration was gone, that was fine for us. So we would request that if there were to be music played in the ground floor, could they adjust the speakers so the bass is on low?
How do we handle that? How would you word that so it's workable?
Well, ultimately there is the limiter condition in place, so we can engage with the applicant and with the resident to try and set the limiter so that the base and the overall level doesn't create a nuisance in neighbouring properties. So we're happy to engage on that point.
Thank you.
So is this condition, sorry, I'm just finding it. 14. Thank you. Okay, that's helpful. Okay, I think that's everything.
Okay. Do our licensing officers have anything to add?
Nothing to add. Thank you for the opportunity, Chair.
Okay. Governance, anything to add?
Thank you, Chair. Nothing from us.
Okay, we've reached the end of this meeting. The committee now has all the information needed, and we will retire to make our decision in private session. I would like to thank you all. You've all made very valuable contributions, and I hope it was a productive meeting for all of us. The committee now has all the information needed. As I mentioned, we will not announce the decision today. Instead, the hearing will be closed. A summary determination will be sent to the parties within 5 working days of today's hearing, and a full decision will follow as soon as possible thereafter. The time limit for appealing the decision will not commence until the full decision has been sent to the parties. Thank you all for your time and for attending. The meeting is now closed.